So what's the competition? What about your roommates?
Is my old college roommate, Renee.
Hi, it is. Why don't you just get a roommate?
I was warmly received by my roommates.
We were roommates. We shared an apartment.
I'm never gonna find a roommate. Ever.
The roommate's a soap opera star.
Mr. Sterling, this is Carol, my roommate.
No, he's not. Brian's a new roommate.
Little John's roommate went into the coffee shop.
JJ and I will talk to Enid's roommate.
She is eager to meet her new roommate.
I'd like you to meet my roommate, Charles.
Roommate.
Roomate.
The route comes right through your life.
And we went the fractional reserve route. We said,
Digestive tract is the evacuation route.
Luckily, we have planned the route well.
You know at least what route we're on?
What, do you late for your paper route?
You could go the disaster route, too.
Now I can quit my paper route.
I take the scenic route. On his back online, scouting your route.
On the route Mr. Barrison's convoy's taking.
The truck route to New York.
Add me to your route.
Yeah, you betcha.
Route. R-O-U-T-E.
Hey, we play by my rules. That means no rules.
You know, I broke all my rules for you.
You have rules?
Someone who can rule and should rule.
Talking. I have rules for the car. No eating, and I rule the radio.
When Bonaparte was ruling over France, he wished to rule over Old England too.
One ring to rule them all.
So you're ruling out surrogacy?
Yeah.
Understand rules completely and change them reasonably.
A careful driver observes the traffic rules.
And your ruler is under the chair.
Let him rule this country for you.
The same rule. A prostrate commerce is to be rebuilt.
He's new. He doesn't know the rules.
Rule. R-U-L-E.
$3,500 at Porcelain Safari?
Safari Park looks like a natural habitat.
A surgeon returned from a safari in Africa.
The museum is officially a wild safari.
Whoa, $3,500 at Porcelain Safari?
It's great at the safari park.
There are no animals to see on these safaris. The
Establishment voters on the Ferrari safari.
Whoa, $3,500 at Porcelain Safari?
Another park that brings visitors close to nature is Safari Park.
No, it's fine. It's fun. It's like, Cappuccino Wilderness Safari. Perfect day.
They shouldn't worry you. Certainly not while they're on a safari.
Wow. This is the safari park. It's great here.
If you were on safari and you...
There's a trip to the safari park.
A few weeks later, Drake had a lot of great memories of Park Safari.
Lorraine Melville is a doctor with surgeon and safari.
Safari.
S-A-F-A-R-I.
All new health and safety rules. Weekly safety meetings for all employees.
Do you remember this?
Yeah, safety.
Safety is a matter of prime importance.
Sheldon, are you worried about your safety?
There's no safety, you dumb bitch.
Fire safety is not a joke, son.
Oh, I'm an OSHA certified safety compliance officer. We both need you to go do that.
And in life, there's no safety net.
What if you... Why would he violate the safety zone?
Road safety laws prepare to be ignored. We can't guarantee your safety.
The priority is not safety, but profitability.
Now, for your own safety.
Safety.
S-A-F-E-T-Y. You've sailed to Bravos.
Of course.
The compass was first used in sailing.
This man must sail past Old Valeria.
And you can sail yours, Ellen.
Is there a boat that sails direct?
The Royal Yacht Britannia sails towards Gibraltar.
That ship sailed about 20 years ago.
Someone still has to sail those things.
Now the wind's out of my sails.
Bought a boat and now I'm sailing.
Not all of us sailed through Trigger.
Everyone here just wants to talk sailing.
It has sailed across the Atlantic many times.
The ship has 4 masts for its sails.
Sail.
S-A-I-L.
The Flying Cloud had set a record for sailing from New York to San Francisco.
At a dinner party at his friend's house, a young woman asked him if he would be sailing home soon. He asked,
The stars turn into sea routes, which turn into sailing maps, which then form the shape of a ship.
John, yes. My wife and I like diving and sailing. I like to go sailing whenever I can.
Sailing. S-A-I-L-I-N-G.
And Russian salad is known internationally as potato salad.
Because I can make a salad if anybody wants a salad.
It's the celery that makes tuna salad.
What about lunch? Do you like salad?
I will have the side salad. I still need the calamari and the Caesar salad.
Try Greenland. They have delicious salads.
And the winner becomes tonight's salad.
Dad. It's time for the salad.
Here's your salad, dressing on the side.
You know, salad tastes just like lettuce.
Tuna or egg salad. Decide.
Where's the bag with the chicken salad sandwiches?
Salad.
S-A-L-A-D.
Try Greenland. They have delicious salads.
Tomato salads and sandwiches were still unknown.
Crap.
Sweetie, I need 2 dinner salads.
Here for 2 soups, 2 salads, 2 entrees.
Oleg, what's the holdup with the salad?
Why don't we get the salads to go?
What are you talking about? I have salads sometimes.
You can add the flakes to sandwiches, soups, and salads.
All right, that's a large mushroom pepperoni pizza and 2 salads.
Maybe we should, I don't know, grab a couple salads sometime. Ready, go back to your salads. Nothing more to see here.
Includes hot buffet, salads, hors d'oeuvres, table, dance floor, and pizza.
Okay, you fill water glasses. I'll make the salads.
Salads.
S-A-L-A-D-S.
His salary will be increased next year.
I want closure on the salary issue.
I resigned because of the low salary.
I'm Rock, and on a cop's salary.
I'm not discussing Andrew's salary.
Right before all the salaries got expensive. At any salary you could dream of.
I pay that bureaucratic know-nothing her salary.
Pretty generous for a retired cop's salary.
It's an art gallery, but it's a non-profit art gallery. So no one earns a salary here.
Did you bring any savings or salary information?
Uncool, Rabbit. My tax dollars pay his salary.
You still got a full-time salary?
Salary.
S-A-L-A-R-Y.
Not for sale! My clothes are not for sale!
Sales have gone way up this month.
The sales were very good in December. Then
for a market sale manager, is that...
Sorry, these products are now for sale.
Besides, every bake sale needs a tart.
Wow. On sale. Check me out.
Those are my past, no sale.
Sale. S-A-L-E.
Oh, do salt, Daddy. The salt's gone.
salt it evenly. Press hard. Put on more salt.
The salt sea was frozen on her breast.
Get to the salt! Salt to the front!
Line salts are especially deadly to bacteria. And
everyone will be salted with fire.
Frank, I'm on a salt shaker.
Perhaps Russians eat a lot of salt.
Now, the salt shaker is off limits.
Salt and vinegar chips, yes,
With Conwell's. Enjoy your flight back to Salt Lake.
Dad, you're not supposed to have salt.
and we know there's salt crusts on Mars.
The salt on his back is very heavy.
Salt.
SALT.
The handlers note where the scat is found and take a sample for analysis.
There were small pieces of plastic in every sample.
Can you give me your sample of lipsticks? I have forwarded you by rail the sample you write for.
Can you produce like this sample for me?
Sample.
SAMPLE.
Have the sandals for it.
Since when did you start wearing sandals?
In Los Angeles, sandal season is year-round.
He spilled a grande mochaccino on his sandals.
Like sandals and socks? Come on, buddy.
Remember that guy who wore sandals?
Working on the sandals.
Then summer comes. I wear sandals, a cap, and sunglasses.
The pair of dilapidated sandals were beside her chair.
While one woman was uptown eyeing her artful new sandal.
Somebody stop him! He took my strappy sandals! Oh!
Sandal. SANDAL.
The test broke the satellite apart into at least 2,800 identifiable pieces.
Space agency officials had to find the reason for the failure of the target satellite.
The satellite that Schirra and Stafford were supposed to chase.
The 83-kilogram satellite, called Sputnik,
and make a home on Earth's only natural satellite.
It depends on the transmission of the satellite signals.
The information is sent from there by satellite to the internet.
Satellite.
SATELLITE.
Saucers! Why do we even have saucers?
Also, too, there's no dipping sauce.
Sauce from Siam Palace.
You got it.
You can eat them with soy sauce.
Then put some tomato sauce on it. Oh, so you found the chocolate sauce?
Your marinara sauce tastes like tomato juice.
Oh my God, I've forgotten the sauce.
Could you get me some more duck sauce, please?
Who was the shrimp with lobster sauce?
Sauce. SAUCE.
The biggest challenge of getting life-saving vaccines to poor countries is that there's no market.
He says, when it comes to saving energy and money, big changes start with small steps, like turning out the light, to develop water-saving crops to feed a growing world.
So, why is he saving?
You like saving money and cooking.
SAVINT.
Big scale, fish scale, big weight fish.
Both on a small scale for a family and a larger scale.
They all have a covering of scales.
Nasruddin immediately went and got the scales.
TV, there's a 9.0 on the predictability scale.
This is deep sea sponges, meter scale.
No, super, scale them back already.
But the difference is the time scale.
Doesn't really seem like the same scale.
The key to doing this is scalable delivery.
Maybe I can scale things back a bit.
Scale.
SCALE.
The only way to remedy this is with a scandal to end all
But I do not believe in scandal.
What's the difference between gossip and scandal?
There's a big scandal involving the mayor.
And Thorpe's daughter. Talk about sleeping.
You're afraid of repeating this scandal photo.
This summer, it was a huge scandal.
The latest unperson and the latest looming scandal. Is it because of the scandal? My scandal.
They gave her the nighttime allergy medicine.
Is it really called the Teapot Dome scandal?
Scandal.
SCANDAL.
Mr. Olmert is one of several senior Israeli officials.
He left office in 2007. Although he's been dogged by several scandals, he has so far avoided prosecution.
Scandals, whether in politics, academia, or other areas, can be useful. Avoid scandals of any sort. Scandals.
scandals.
The word is from Latin and means scar.
Border into the state of Wisconsin. It had been a long trip from the south.
The many areas of hardened or scar tissue give the disease its name.
There's a scar in my heart. Scar, can you feel my power? To the next winter, it becomes faint scar. Did you have the scar before?
Scar.
scar.
Nor does Marjorie's overwhelming scent. Hey!
My dog sniffed the scent of games.
She has all these weird scented candles.
And a scented candle for the bathroom.
Scented candles, fuzzy slippers, ooh, floral bed sheets.
Some people find that scent very pleasant.
What's my scent?
Here you are, my lady.
What is that scent you're wearing?
I can't decide if I like it.
Try picking up my scent on Rob.
Maybe you're picking up your own scent.
Scents of lavender and rosemary can relieve tension.
Her heavy makeup and cheap scent repelled him.
You can't talk to attractive women, or in your case, a cheesecake-scented goddess.
Scent.
scent.
No, because we have a shower schedule.
Train schedules were irregular during the flood.
Your schedule doesn't leave us enough time. Hey, what's on the schedule for today?
I'm falling behind schedule.
We've arranged our schedule without any troubles.
You're right on schedule 6 weeks out.
We need to get back on schedule.
Hi, how's it going? Oh, it's going great. Right on schedule.
From after I rearrange my schedule.
Schedule it for when I'm not here.
Wondering what your schedule's like on Friday.
How's that nap schedule coming along?
Schedule.
schdule.
Acting U.S. Attorney Roth Gemara described the money laundering scheme.
It needs the support of Green senators, who argue the scheme doesn't go far enough to protect the environment.
I heard about the new scheme and when it was announced in the budget, and my car qualifies as old enough.
Our scheme is good both in theory and in practice. Are you the author of this scheme? Yet the scheme is not without its merits.
Scheme.
schme.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the future of the past.
Dude, I won the Scholar Athlete Award.
A Peabody Scholar. For others who are scholars, there are problems.
Their status within national scholarly circles is unparalleled.
Here is my passport. I'm a visiting scholar.
What are you beautiful scholars reading?
Sheikh Hafiz al-Alvi is a very famous scholar.
He was respected as a great scholar of history.
But a scholar of your standing knows many people.
And our two finalists for the Scholar Athlete Award are...
Some essays by religious scholars.
Marie, religious scholars spend their entire lives trying to answer...
He was among the earliest scholars of Black history.
Scholar.
scholar.
Robespierre, who was also a scholarship guy.
They changed their mind about the scholarship.
Maybe you could get a scholarship.
Known criminal record could jeopardize potential scholarship.
This is my scholarship papers, okay?
His excellence in baseball earned him a scholarship.
He just got a scholarship to Notre Dame.
You could lose your shot at a... I thought that scholarship would always be...
I could get into Danby on a scholarship.
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 Their graduates turn science fiction into science fact.
Want to talk science with the science dudes?
Creativity feeds science, and science feeds creativity.
Well, you didn't hear it from science, because science says that ain't true.
The thing about science, natural...
My favorite subject is science.
The study appears in the journal Science.
High School of Science.
Oh. For example, we have a science club.
The findings appear in the journal Science.
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 Sex swap scientist scored by Stag.
In molecular biology.
This isn't about scientists like me.
Really? The scientist guy? Really? Chandler?
But many scientists disagree with Mr. White.
Blind scientists, I have to go.
The work of scientists is often discussed.
Come on, Howard, Bernadette, you're both scientists.
The Brazilian scientists call them flying rivers.
You tell people I'm a rocket scientist?
The scientists have seed warmers.
Scientist.
SCIENTIST.
So if it takes 3 throws to finish a hole, the score is a 3.
She said winning was more than the score on the board. She had the highest score of all people competing for the job.
As a defender, he does not score a lot of goals, although he does have 2 in his career.
We need other players to score as well. Who will score for us?
Add up your score on each question.
Score.
SCORE.
They sent me today's script. They never send me the script.
Then you have the script.
Right here.
Arabic scripts speak to anyone, I believe.
Okay, stick to the scripted pattern suite.
Yeah, he did. He went off script.
Just 1 scripted line per day.
Doesn't it say that in the script?
Script supervisor is Meredith Danko.
This is the script that we've been given. Could you level the script?
I have a couple notes on the script.
Come on, stick to the script.
It's going to be great. Just follow the script.
That was not in the script.
Court.
No, I get it. You couldn't have scripted it better.
Script.
SCRIPT.
Think of, for example, a sculpture garden.
The sculpture of me as a 5-year-old?
The area is particularly interesting for its unusual sculptures.
There are many famous sculptures in the museum.
Sculpture is regarded by some as motionless music.
Sculpture is the art of shaping solid materials.
Some gigantic technical problem with the sculpture number something?
That sculpture class, isn't she?
They specialize in galvanized metal sculptures.
Not all my sculptures are masterpieces.
And what about the ice sculpture?
Yeah, that sculpture, that's not here anymore.
Sculpture.
SCULPTURE.
Sea bass, I'll have the sea bass.
The sea, to the shining sea.
Say, she sells seashells by the seashore.
Certainly no creature in the sea is odder than the common sea cucumber.
An egg is god of the sea. And you are Ron, my sea goddess.
The sea no longer separates us.
Hey, buddy, what you reading?
The Old Man in the Sea.
And the rivers run into the sea.
Seaview Guest House, 14 Hill Road.
Sea looks dark blue at night. What's in the middle of the sea?
It is also bigger than the sea.
Help! Help! What's this in the sea?
We can overlook the sea from here.
Sea.
SEA.
She makes 4 seasons look like 1 season.
Mama.
Another season of Everybody Loves Raymond.
There are 4 seasons in a year.
This team has practiced hard all season.
Fall is the next best season, then winter.
I'll have nothing to watch next season.
What seasoning is used for this dish?
That was because the season had begun.
Spring and autumn are the nicest seasons.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Nick's season opener tonight.
Season tickets, you know what that means?
Okay, season's greetings and everything, but still.
Season.
SEASON.
Near my seat.
How is this your seat?
What, this seat? You got out of this seat?
Why don't you get into the driver's seat
Fasten your seatbelts, everybody.
They've been seated.
Thank you, Hildy.
Some Rangers tickets, box seats.
Get your paddles, they're under your seats.
You are sitting in my seat, Guy.
So they arrive. Let's go in and set up the next. Take their seats.
Well, isn't that interesting? Have a seat.
Why don't you all take your seats?
I'll take your seat in car 9.
Remember to put the seat down?
No, that's my seat. Come on, scooch.
Seat.
SEAT.
Johnson. Last year, Johnson became the second driver in history to win a third straight Sprint Cup championship.
The artist can then add a second color of glass. Once they pass the exams, they can leave high school as early as the end of the second year.
During the second half of the 19th century.
Yeah, I hated every second of it, actually. This is my second contract with them.
Second.
SECOND.
As what, then?
My private secretary.
Oh, I'm more of a glorified secretary.
The secretary is scrupulous about her dress.
My husband is sleeping with his secretary.
She got away to be a secretary.
Called them secretaries in my day.
The secretary gave me all your messages.
Oh!
I prefer the term secretary.
From him? Not in over in one.
Secretary.
SECRETARY.
My section, Section B, tried to have HBS's first online class.
Oh, there was always this SEAL section. Anybody remember those SEAL sections?
That is the end of Section 3.
That is the end of Section 2.
Yes, in the smoking or non-smoking section.
Doctors found cancer cells in the section.
I hid them in the produce section!
Annette read the business section.
The park is divided into 2 sections.
Why don't we finish this section first?
Why in the masonry section?
Think you can handle my section?
Section.
SECTION.
And the private sector.
Tourism is a very important but volatile sector.
Around the world, automotive is core to the manufacturing sector.
Are you in any particular sector?
What happened in the governmental sector?
Very happy in the private sector.
We see this in the public sector as well.
Sector 7, or Sector 12 if we're doing
Guys, another blackout's about to sweep through this sector.
Many sectors of the economy, the recovery has started.
16 women's plus size.
We're going to need his address and any other information you can give us. Thank you.
All the same, parts of the non-oil sector are thriving.
And their cooperation has expanded into financial sector.
At worst, it risks alienating those working in the private sector.
2 long sectors of the border are contested.
Sector.
SECTOR.
And nowadays, my selections are more limited.
The new leader is a good selection.
There's always a great selection there.
And you're doing that through unnatural selection.
The selection of underwear that we carry.
4 stars, great red, disappointing wine selection.
Fortunately, this market has a terrific selection.
Pheromones evolved by natural selection, aided by sexual selection.
There is a wide selection of foods available.
We have a lovely selection of local wines.
So I can focus on my roommate selection.
How did you correct for the selection bias?
But there's not really much selection around here, so.
Selection.
SELECTION.
And nowadays, my selections are more limited.
I believe you still have a few drink selections left on your great menu journey. You're so...
Selections made him streamline for his liquid habitat.
The width and the height of your shapes and selections will be displayed in this panel. Selections.
SELECTIONS.
In fact, he's leading a meditation seminar.
The seminar was called Getting What You Want.
Meathead. That seminar was fascinating. Run away. Just go to the seminar, please.
Oh, I don't really care too much for seminars. I find
he needs help with a seminar that he's giving.
I teach a seminar at Columbia on cultural zeitgeist.
Yes. Do you know how long the seminar will take?
I heard about this amazing seminar we should go to.
Oh my God.
Watch him, Ross. You're still at the seminar in Boston.
Yeah, I met him at a counseling seminar today.
When will the woman attend the seminar?
Wait, you're not going to go to the seminar?
Seminar.
SEMINAR.
One theory is that the shape developed over the ages to improve this shark's sense of smell.
He had only to look into her eyes to feel that, to sense her growing dislike of him.
I doubt if you have any legal sense.
How do you find any comfort or any sense in that?
You should interpret what I said in my sense of the word, not in yours.
Well, in the sense that Shakespeare know.
Sense.
SENSE.
Self-imposed death sentence in order to avoid a prison sentence.
Say y'all after every sentence.
Who writes sentences like that?
Writing. Every sentence is connected in thought to the previous sentence.
Now try reading the sentence inside it.
What is the intent of that sentence? The sentence may be given several interpretations.
I sentence you to trial by combat.
I couldn't always make complete sentences either.
Sentence.
SENTENCE.
Yes, it's the nation's favorite house servant.
I am not your servant, Johnson.
Then, the servant came into the room.
Well, Samantha didn't believe in having servants.
The servant accepted his dismissal without any complaint.
May I have servants, really yummy food, the internet?
Servants, and 2 of them were children.
I hear the servants moving, sir, I said.
Servant.
SERVANT.
Assured labor is not charging anyone right now, but the plan is to have employers pay for the service.
He says that at the early service on Christmas Eve, he will begin with a question for the children.
What do you think of our service?
You have to be at her service.
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 Let's get serious about raw sewage.
Why would you bring me sewage?
There was a sewage works near the river too.
Raw sewage cannot simply be swept under the rug.
Only the treated sewage could be drained into the river.
That washed through latrines, it washed through sewage.
When it comes to domestic sewage,
which they put into the sewage system.
The rivers with sewage, the seas with oil.
Well, I guess when they think of sewage, they think of me.
The plant will have an assembly shop, paint shop, energy center, and sewage treatment works.
Untreated sewage was the main cause of this, it said.
Today, drinking water is managed separately from sewage treatment.
Sewage.
SEWAGE.
It comes up through the storm sewers, and
because they stink! Like a sewer, they stink!
One of the more difficult games sewer workers play.
But lucky for us, there's a sewer right under here.
City contracts me to clear the stoppages in the sewer.
They're digging up the yard to work on the sewer line.
Who's number 2? One of the more difficult games sewer workers play.
They say 1 million rats live in the sewers of King's Landing.
In Oregon, a number of brewers are competing to turn sewer water into beer.
Alligators in the sewer, pets in the microwave, and now an old man in Samantha.
It carries away rainwater from the streets and sewers.
Sewer.
SEWER.
It means sex education, or sometimes just sex.
I think sex in insects is more interesting than sex in people.
Sex swap scientist scored by Stag.
Which one has a better sex life?
It's intimate. We're selling sex here. Money can be more intimate than sex.
Eating. We cannot have sex in here. She's pregnant because we had sex.
You had sex with her, didn't you?
Andrew, have you had sex with Tad?
No, I had sex in high school.
Sex.
S-E-X.
I'll keep singing and dancing in the shade.
And bring a shade to his dancing eyes.
Look at the shading on the wheel well.
We just happen to wear the same shade.
I haven't started season 3 yet.
She's doing it in a shade of...
Just the right amount of sun and shade. And
shaded.
The tables are partially shaded.
Come under the shade and rest for a while.
Shade.
S-H-A-D-E.
Yes, I know. Sheep in sheep's clothing.
They are sheep. Mr. McDonald has 10 sheep on the farm.
The wolf keeps calling the sheep.
No, Gary's the black sheep. He's adopted.
So what, you're like the black sheep?
And his sheep never needed a crook.
Dogs are often trained to herd sheep.
But this was no sheepdog.
I'm sorry, we don't have your sheep. They bring the sheep down the mountain.
We could sheep shift Lord Desmond's bed.
Burnt offering of a male sheep.
More like a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Sheep rustling looms larger as a result. Sheep.
S-H-E-P.
This becomes a sheet of paper.
One part is made of a sheet of metal painted black. A stencil is a thin sheet of metal or plastic out of which a design has been cut.
She spread a sheet on the sofa for me. No, we filled in timesheet. How should I mark my answer sheet?
I want a sheet on my bed.
Sheet.
S-H-E-T.
This explanation evidently conveyed something to the woman who searched shelf after shelf.
He put them on the bookshelves.
I'll put the fans on the shelf.
See, bottom shelf, meats and dairy.
Now, I've used only top shelf liquor.
Hey, there's a Cheez-It on the shelf.
So it had a longer shelf life.
Regardless, the game flew off the shelves. There were shelves upon shelves of the most succulent-looking sweets imaginable.
Put the bottles back on the shelf, please. No, not those. The ones on the shelf.
There were handy shelves near the kitchen sink.
I kept that book on the bottom shelf.
Shelf.
S-H-E-L-F.
Shell after shell smashed into the fort.
It was the turtle shell which the mute singer used as a beggar's cup.
Up on the shore I found a shell.
This kind of beetles have hard shell. It was still him in there, inside the failing shell.
I like the book about shell a lot.
Shell.
S-H-E-L-L.
She has been living a sheltered life.
To what warm shelter canst thou fly?
Just taking you to the women's shelter.
That is food and care and shelter.
You see, they're properly fed. Shelter.
We cannot take her to a shelter. This building is a homeless shelter. A.
Our first priority is food and shelter.
A born from the animal shelter.
It's Linda.
Wow. So you're like running a homeless shelter.
They were nurses, logisticians, shelter experts, paralegals, interpreters.
Shelter.
S-H-E-L-T-E-R.
The ships were known as treasure ships.
My ship! They've stolen my ship, he sobbed.
Shipping the order out on a Monday will minimize the shipping time.
I am Captain Core of the ship Kotos. Your ship attacked our search party.
They see the pirate ship. A girl is tied with a rope on the ship.
The ship is leaving. I'm already on board.
Sally is looking at a big ship.
Was he travelling alone on the ship?
There are beautiful lights on the ship.
Ship was damaged in the storm.
May I inspect the wares before shipment?
Peter tiptoes quietly over to the ship.
And I'll go by big ship.
The poor ship then sank more swiftly.
The submarine submerged to avoid enemy ships.
You went to find me a ship.
I think I just shipped 3,000 bras to personnel.
Ship.
SHIP.
Hannah, it's the shoe. If the shoe fits.
Light shoes will not protect your feet as well as heavy shoes will.
Does anybody see my left shoe?
What would you do in my shoes? I've no idea where my shoes are.
She is wearing her new shoes now.
I'm going to take off my shoes.
Why do girls love shoes so much? Brown shoes don't look right on him. He's not.
My new shoes are pressing my toes.
He bent and laced up his shoes.
The ugly sisters fought over the shoe.
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 Well, at least she's not a shoplifter.
That's what we do with shoplifters.
Shoplifter.
SHOPLIFTER.
Shopkeepers thanked Christmas shoppers for their patronage.
Evidently, I'm recommending it to those shoppers.
Come on, you're the shopper. Help me.
Well, actually, I'm looking for a personal shopper.
This is my stylist and personal shopper, Eric.
Hi.
Marissa Heller, the Wicker Catalog Shopper.
Do you see any fellow shoppers? Oh.
The Republic is also a tax-free haven for shoppers.
You're gonna have to find yourself another personal shopper.
In Pakistan's Swat Valley, shoppers are getting hit twice.
So the shopper can imagine them to be anyone.
We'd get more of a variety of shoppers there.
Shopper.
SHOPPER.
These problems include water shortages.
Well, there's no shortage of wholesome entertainment.
The river suffers from a severe water shortage.
He described water shortages as a worldwide problem.
The project was suspended because of the shortage of funds.
Yes, Professor, and there was no shortage of such sources.
Food production suffered from the shortage of able-bodied males.
The watch has no shortage of stable boys, Lord Mormont grumbled.
It was well governed, and there was a shortage of barbarians.
Shortage.
SHORTAGE.
Best song to sing in the shower.
Wow, how many showers do you have?
No, because we have a shower schedule.
2. End your shower with cold water.
The fire department advertising free hot showers.
About, you showering with your mom.
You don't need a shower?
You're taking too long in the shower!
Yeah, that's it. You were in the shower.
We just stepped into the shower. Good.
I want to take a shower.
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 Working side by side with brilliant Zimbabwean.
They were soon walking side by side.
Ginny's head lolled hopelessly from side to side.
Their keen points met from side to side.
5. They are all lined up side by side.
They are all lined up side by side.
Look on the bright side.
What's the...
Number 3. Both sides claimed the other side broke the peace agreement.
The Siege of Pike. We fought side by side one afternoon.
I'm not taking any side. It's too small to have sides.
Don't worry, Deb. I'm on your side.
You're on my side.
And they are side by side.
Dave and Solex stood side by side, covered in blood.
I am on my mother's side, but my father's side is Navajo.
Moving slowly from side to side.
In naval parlance, the left side of a ship is the port side. Side.
S-I-D-E.
How many sights have you almost seen?
I completely lost sight of what's important.
The far, far east.
Oh, completely out of sight.
I might not get my sight back.
Harry turned and caught sight of
When a poor man came inside.
Now go, get out of my sight.
An inspiring sight for the people, eh?
Shagger glowered, a fearsome sight to see.
Actual waitress sighting in this dump.
Out of sight, out of mind, bye-bye.
Out of sight, both of
Sight.
S-I-T-H-T.
All the signs are there.
The signs?
I got Ehrlich to sign, and here's the sign right there.
Got a sign, sign on the bottom.
She signed my name on hers, and I signed hers on mine.
Well, isn't it a good sign?
I'm not sure what it's a sign of.
Mark. The light sign.
Signed by A, too.
Sign it, Porkins. Right here, Porkins. Right here. Porkins, sign here.
So I just have to sign it.
He was tricked into signing the contract.
Sign.
S-I-T-N.
You mean signature. An autograph is the signature of a famous person, Finn.
It's cute. Tax stuff. I need your signature.
I think somebody else got the signatures.
He's creating signature drinks for the diner. Phil, tell me you got some signatures.
Reveal the shooter's signature behavior.
They're gathering signatures for a Brady run.
Well, one more signature, and we're finished.
Seal, the signature, the security strip.
His paintings are themselves signatures of his mind. But what gives birds their signature diverse colorations?
Signature.
S-I-T-N-A-T-U-R-E.
I give them silence. Silence is nothing.
They listened. Only silence filled the house.
And in exchange, I get your silence.
But he made a sign for silence.
Sophie had never known such a silence.
The whispers stopped, and there was silence.
Neither silence nor lies were an option.
Pray silence for Her Majesty the Queen.
Swayed in the silence, to and fro.
This radio silence is weird. I know.
Sir Philip mustn't bully him into silence.
There was silence for a few moments.
Silence. S-I-L-E-N-C-E.
Maybe we could run some computer simulations.
It seems to work, at least in simulations.
You want to see a simulation on my laptop?
In fact, there is a Mars simulation colony in Devon Island.
Simulations. Like simulating the physics in water or with mud or with...
We're inside a huge simulation chamber on an alien spaceship.
I'm taking you to the next best thing.
And the simulation is so perfect.
Well, I ran a simulation. Allowed me to...
It is one of the oldest model United Nations simulations in the world.
So, what I do is that I use computer simulations.
And ultimately, I came up with this solution right here.
Well, I ran a simulation. Allowed me to correct for the observational efficiency.
So that was part of the simulation.
Oh.
Simulation. S-I-M-U-L-A-T-I-O-N.
All the single dollars? All the single dollars.
Sixth is answering questions with single words.
You better be here every single day.
All right, never had any kids?
Yeah.
I mean, every single company.
Single man outranks the Holy Grail. Held up by a single tiny thread.
Single together before.
Ah, she's single and he's cute.
Singles stay on their feet for maneuverability.
Why else would you still be single?
One single thing. And definitely not...
Single.
S-I-N-T-L-E.
And when those sites are found...
A wonderful granddaughter.
It's good to see you so happy.
I'll be at the construction site tomorrow.
Do you know some social networking sites?
Plus, it'd be big for the site.
What is the site of your hotel?
I was at the site last night.
I'm heading back to the job site.
You ever look at porn websites?
My site, they've received over 13,000.
I've never been on a building site. Not to say
On several websites used by pedophiles.
we'll go over to the job site together.
We moved to a greenfield site last year.
The company that owns this site also owns some other explicit sites.
Site.
S-I-T-E.
Do you want the large size or the small size?
Foot size doesn't matter.
Size 8? Ha! She always told me she was a size 6.
The size of your shoes is determined by the size of your feet.
The size is the size of the player and the color is the position.
That is similar to a US size 0.
Do not judge someone by their size.
I'm afraid we don't have your size.
What size bowl would you like?
What size of refrigerator would you like?
Okay, but which size should I use?
Can I try the next size up?
All right. What size does she take?
What size would you like to have?
Size.
S-I-Z-E.
In ice skating.
There are outdoor skating rinks that you can go skating. It's very romantic.
Do you like skating? Yes, I do.
That doesn't even make sense. He's skating.
And he's kind of a skating prodigy. Fuck you, you never took me skating.
Yes, I've seen the skating rink on TV.
Counter. Is that what they say on the figures?
I like skating. I can skate very well.
Rink and extended an invitation.
Oh.
For locker number 339 at the skating rink.
You're really good at skating, Billy.
Let's practice your skating.
Carson had enjoyed skating for years.
I know how much you love figure skating.
This is like figure skating team all over again.
A skating competition? Did she have to work hard?
Skating.
S-K-A-T-I-N-G.
Guess we found the skeleton in her closet.
Not quite.
Skeleton with phosphorus on a zip line.
They have skeletons in their basement closet.
The poor old man was just a skeleton.
He unhosed the castle with a skeleton crew.
You have bobsledding, luge, and skeleton.
Hey, it's a skeleton cowboy guy.
A long illness made a skeleton out of him.
People give sugar skeletons to each other as gifts.
We literally bring the skeleton out of the ground.
A skeleton was dangling before my eyes.
Skeleton.
S-K-E-L-E-T-O-N.
Pictionary has verbal skills, visual skills.
A skill that no other animal has to the degree that
And he had all the skills.
We can give organizational skills and planning skills to the managers of the parks.
They actually started calling them skill cranes.
Luckily, Elliot is a skilled jet pilot.
How are your typing and shorthand skills?
Now the next one, learn a skill.
Stalin also had keen infighting skills politically.
It's a skill, anyone can learn it.
What skills do you have?
Skill.
S-K-I-L-L.
Likely don't have fair skin, just soft.
And its eyes were as yellow as its skin.
Remember, they have very sensitive skin.
She was known for her great skin.
My skin both looks and feels tired.
Everyone had some skin in the game.
You need to develop a thick skin.
Potato skins and Susan's sex tips night?
Probably because I have so much skin.
Skin.
S-K-I-N.
Skirt, it's off limits.
That is so...
Yes. Can I see that skirt, please?
Nice skirt, Esther. What are you, Amish?
Did anyone see my leopard print skirt?
From when Mrs. Dabney returned your skirt.
I'll wear a skirt and nothing else.
Bathsheba trying to pull her skirt away.
Gordon, you just wanted to skirt.
Reciting stock quotes and wearing a skirt?
I know some skirts like that, too.
I always wear a circle like this.
This kind of skirt is popular this year.
I'm not going to hide behind my wife's skirt.
Skirt.
SKRT.
Actually flossing.
No, it's slang.
Right. It's slang.
Word mashups. Slang, teaching you slang.
Steve-O.
It's slang for pregnant.
Nick here is slang for condition.
Slang is actually quite difficult to define.
An example would be like slang. If somebody starts...
In American slang, it means doing something dumb.
I'm often flummoxed by current slang.
If you see the word price, it's slang for expensive.
The answer is, Americans are crazy about using slang.
It's really, 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 really slang, and it's bad.
And some slang is easy to understand.
There's even a slang word for you've been caught wearing Uniqlo.
Slang.
SLANG.
I am the slave of the ring.
Repay the slavers with what? Kindness?
You have made peace with the slavers
and leave their homes the homes of slaves.
Now I know how the African slaves felt.
You promised the slavers they could keep slavery.
But they couldn't make us slaves.
The Romans, Russians, Aztecs and Egyptians all kept slaves.
Were you slaving away in the kitchen all day?
You make me sound like a slave driver.
It's a funeral.
The man was a slave driver.
Never owned slaves, Bill, or detonated nuclear weapons. And most...
Slave.
SLAVE.
Their sleeping bags were warm and comfortable.
Oh, sleep, my child, in love's repose.
Go to sleep, don't go to sleep.
We have twice as much non-REM sleep as rapid eye movement sleep each night.
Sleep would have been a release.
You can sleep in the castle.
Hi, how do you sleep?
Good. You?
I can't sleep on your couch. I sleep in a bed.
During the day, sleep comes in snatches.
A cat is sleeping under the desk.
I'll sleep here if I have to.
Sleep.
SLEP.
I don't think she remembered sleeping with me.
But you don't remember sleeping with her.
Tim is in his bedroom. He is sleeping.
It's a lot of sleeping on the bus. No sleeping.
Where's Matt?
He's sleeping.
Ooh.
You could have TB.
Sleeping Beauty.
Screwveneer. Items kept after sleeping with someone.
Harry and Michelle can watch Max sleeping.
A cat is sleeping under the desk. Their sleeping bags were warm and comfortable.
I was sleeping when the earthquake started.
Because you're not having any trouble sleeping.
You're sleeping in your crap right now.
Sleeping.
SLEPINT.
We cannot let this moment slip away.
My foot slipped and I nearly fell.
My pick nearly slipped from my hands.
Now listen, you slipped up. It's fine.
It was a slip of the tongue. Ha!
I slip into it when I'm excited.
Slip.
SLIP.
What smell?
It smells like flowers or something.
Does that smell bother you?
What, the smell from Joey?
I could smell it coming. The way you can smell a thunderstorm right before it hits.
Most of us have a normal sense of smell, but some people have problems smelling.
The air is pervaded by a smell.
It smelled kind of like singed flesh.
It smells good. I would eat this.
You smell the violation of civil liberties.
That's the smell of adventure, Morty.
Smell.
SMELL.
And now I'm smoking.
This smoke is called second-hand smoke.
I push you smoking a cigar. A cigar.
Many people smoke Turkey cigarettes.
True, but only Turks smoke this brand.
Look, I'll spare you the details, but basically the smoking jacket's not smoking.
She wants to start smoking again.
You're too young to smoke.
My father went outside for a smoke. The room was full of choking smoke.
You are much too young to smoke.
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 And now I'm smoking.
Ay, pues she's smoking a cigar. A cigar.
Look, I'll spare you the details, but basically the smoking jacket's not smoking.
She wants to start smoking again.
Yes, many people want to quit smoking, stop smoking at once.
Smoking tobacco is not good for health.
Smoking is forbidden in the crowded bus.
Yes, in the smoking or non-smoking section.
We don't allow smoking in the rooms.
Have you ever tried to quit smoking?
Yeah. Smoking is not permitted in the cinema.
No smoking in school,
Did you stop smoking pot and drinking?
Hitler! You're smoking? What are you doing?
Smoking.
SMOKING.
And then what about snack time? Do you have snack time?
Snack. No, don't eat those.
He took a snack at 12 o'clock.
They are a popular snack among Cambodians.
Mommy's gonna fix you a healthy snack.
You guys go have a snack?
Okay, I'm gonna go get a snack.
And don't be asking for a snack.
Where is the snack bar situated?
Just finishing up Karen's favorite snacks.
Snack.
SNACK.
This soil on which we sleep is the same soil where we buried our children.
Soil acidity also greatly affects bone preservation.
First, dig a hole in the soil.
Some soils are not suitable for farming.
Suck up moisture from the soil.
Yes, duck decoys and French soil samples.
And that's a very unique soil type.
Roses will not root in such acid soil.
The soil near the river is very fertile.
Signals can travel below the soil surface too.
I'm an American citizen, technically on American soil.
Nice to have you back on American soil.
Dry soil and high altitude mean fewer grapes.
The rest goes into the soil.
Not all fungi grow in soil.
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 The farming of fish, plants like seaweed, shellfish.
That's your big solution? Embrace ignorance?
To hear their ideas and their solutions.
But that wouldn't be a long-term solution.
This is the only practicable solution imaginable.
Well, holding it inside isn't the solution.
And now you're ready for the solution.
There's a simple solution to these problems.
And there is a very simple solution.
You got all that from saline solution?
Well, as usual, Wallowitz has the solution.
Up with a couple of cost-cutting solutions.
And this is solution of nitrate of silver.
Solution.
SOLUTION.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That sounds good. Let's do it.
More than this sound?
Stop!
Older elephants can distinguish normal sounds from dangerous sounds.
Oh, you know that sound.
You know, when you say partner, it doesn't sound cop, but...
We can judge if you have a sound body from the sound of your heart.
There is another sound, too.
I'm offering my help.
Sounds great.
Sounds like fun.
Thank you.
Sound like fun?
Yeah!
It sounds like you did.
No.
But. He doesn't sound native.
That sounds boring. Let's play soccer.
Sound.
SOUND.
The best source of calcium is milk. Milk.
The news was from a reliable source.
Abby sought comfort from an unusual source.
100% breastfed, straight from the source.
So, I went back to the source.
I need you to identify your source.
Copper Hill, Tennessee. That's where
obtained substantial data from it.
What sources? They're not sources, all they're dedicated.
Sandy's source has always been rock solid.
What are your sources for? Information, news.
From a source that doesn't have an agenda.
Source.
S-O-U-R-C-E.
While Mouse's day was going south.
Where are you headed then? South.
Christchurch on the South Island
is in the south of China.
The sun often shines in the south.
And this is Paul from South Korea.
Does he live on the South Island?
Where was it going? North or south?
The intrepid explorers reached the South Pole.
You could find it in South Africa.
It's not south, it's west of here.
South Africa is running a lab here.
Oh, you still use south in space?
Whoa, Jesus, Jerry!
South.
S-O-U-T-H.
We invest in Southeast Asia. It's similar dynamic.
Blue 2, southeast corner, and stand by.
Overseer of the heroin networks of Southeast Afghanistan.
The same cannot be said for Southeast Asia.
94 Alpha is about 12 miles southeast of the field.
Hurricanes are ocean storms that strike mainly in the southeast.
I am in charge of marketing activities in Southeast Asia.
What's interesting is Vaux-le-Vicomte, which is southeast of Paris.
Andrew Jackson committing genocide or ethnic cleansing against the Southeast Indians.
Southeast Company. I drafted business correspondence for the general manager.
Then what?
The fires southeast of Los Angeles forced evacuations in 2 canyons.
Southeast.
S-O-U-T-H-A-S-T.
Their space. It's a girl power space. It's
right between 2 things.
Space is congested. We track 23,000 objects in space.
In space, we have an orbiting laboratory on the International Space Station.
We will venture into outer space and will start inhabiting outer space.
My first visit was to a space station considered the most modern in space.
I just need some space.
There's Space World, Water World, Animal World.
All that empty white space is depressing.
It's all great. And remember, space out.
No, because I totally space.
Make space for us in your movement.
Space.
S-P-A-C-E.
What are the speakers mainly talking about?
Each speaker is allotted half an hour.
Public speakers, however, often send mixed messages.
There are German speakers within the Austro-Hungarian Empire, but it gives...
Cover the screen, not the speaker.
Our next speaker is Mr. Isaiah.
Speaker of the House. He'll be there.
Would you put her on speaker?
Put you on speaker, okay?
Clark Hayden had his phone on speaker.
Spoke with DC area Japanese learners and speakers.
The speaker. €2,000 seems a lot. Who's coming?
So David becomes speaker, I become majority.
Speaker.
S-P-E-A-K-E-R.
German-speaking or Swiss Deutsch speaking population is about
Dutch-speaking and French-speaking.
Happy Thanksgiving.
You too. I'm gonna miss your dad.
And you always know exactly who's speaking.
4. I am capable of speaking English smoothly.
She is speaking on the phone now. Perhaps I'm speaking to the wrong audience.
Speaking of which, guess who stopped sweating?
Speaking of windows, that's Oleg's car, right?
Speaking.
S-P-E-A-K-I-N-G.
Yes, speed bumps.
What's the speed limit in this town?
The trees rushed past at great speed.
Not all colors travel at the same speed.
Yeah, she brought me up to speed.
Jet-propelled planes travel at very high speeds.
Uncheck your ex-girlfriend off my speed dialer.
Unless Superman matches her speed and decelerates.
Speed.
S-P-E-D.
Now, spending made safer, spending made faster.
There aren't enough visitors spending money.
Sure. Besides, you're spending a fortune.
Spending all day tomorrow with Ben.
No, I'm not spending Christmas with you.
Thank you for spending time with her.
A little spending money for Mexico.
It's about spending your vacation in paradise.
I'm spending the weekend with my daughter.
You're spending more than you make.
I can't ain't drinking and spending money.
Just enjoying spending time with your mom.
So we've been spending more time together lately.
Spending.
spending.
Spider! Spider!
I left something in the hallway.
Spider burners! I love spider burners! Saying a little itsy bitsy spider.
How many legs has a spider got?
Not a bad trade for spider piece.
The stenographer is dressed like a spider?
The difference between Spider-Man and spiders.
But we have to. We're flying spiders.
Right? You couldn't tell she was a spider.
A spider captures small insects with its web.
He doesn't see the spider web just ahead.
The fly became entangled in the spider's web.
Spiders weave webs that are almost invisible.
Spider.
spider.
School sponsors Truth Up Day.
I got some sponsors to buy advertising.
We'll sponsor the clinic as you wish.
Would I sponsor me in the program?
Always sponsor new legislation.
They're not sponsors either. Right, Jeff? Not, he's saying not anymore. Yeah, okay.
The employer would serve as sponsor in that case.
Career, Mrs. Solis is sponsoring me.
Oh, it's not like that. He's Mrs. Taylor's sponsor.
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 But I thought soup spoons were the same as tablespoons.
Where'd you leave the spoon?
Oh, I didn't have a spoon.
Each had a spoon, and the spoons would...
Say it with me now. Spoon.
Each soul had a spoon, but the spoons were so long.
He stirred the milk with a spoon.
We're just hanging out by the spoons? The spoon. You licked and you put?
You just give him a spoon, baby.
Just getting a spoon.
Stop it.
You use your soup spoon, you can have...
I hate the big fork and spoon.
The spoon drops and cools off to harden.
The mother fed the baby with a spoon.
He set out 1 cup and 1 spoon.
Born with a silver spoon in your mouth?
Spoon.
spoon.
He's so agile, isn't he? He could have been a sportsman.
He was a real sportsman, even if he's not very well known.
In 2001, a special program was set up to help young sportsmen and sportswomen.
In fact, there is one very popular sportsman who retired after a long time in the job.
And on top of these, he had also to tolerate the particular horrors suffered by America's black sportsmen.
Li Ning has discovered that the work of a great sportsman does not finish when he retires from the sport.
Today's referees lack such deterrence, and professional sportsmen can transgress in such a way that their classical predecessors could scarcely have imagined.
Harry, on the other hand, was all alive in the stables or in the wood, eager for all parties of hunting and fishing, and promised to be a good sportsman from a very early age.
Sportsman.
sportsman.
Pretty good, like, I spotted a night.
That's it's called food spotting.
That shouldn't be too hard to spot.
You might spot one yourself right now.
Maybe I'll need binoculars to spot them.
Right in the same spot?
No.
It's just going through a rough spot.
They were all slain on the spot.
To the spot of the fowl.
Spots, they were hilarious. I was on that.
You're putting me in a tough spot.
I understand why you chose this spot.
Thanks for putting me on the spot.
Yeah.
I'll save your parking spot.
It's the Kevin Dillon and below spot.
Not the Kelly with the boat spot.
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 Instead, the United States would enjoy stability.
So he would crave stability, security.
It's teachers, it's protection, it's stability, and it's hope. People like me like stability and security. You don't.
Visible development gives the impression of stability and progress.
The main feature is stability and improved structure.
He said, a well-fed cam is hardly a model of emotional stability.
Ma'am, in order to function effectively, this team needs stability.
My dirty little secret began to tear my emotional stability.
For the most part, though, Rome focused upon developing internal stability.
I would argue stability under this.
Stability. STABLITY.
Your stack just replaces this stack.
The camera, when stacked, we're stacking right now.
The whole stack of goods toppled over.
A few stacks of cash? Come on.
How do you stack up against them?
If the bills start to stack up.
Let me check that stack over there.
Stacks with no AC was...
You've seen my huge stack of porn, right?
I called my a short stack of pancakes.
6. The boxes are stacked up by the sink.
The boxes are stacked up by the sink.
Stack your own chips, Dad. All 3 of them.
We at one time represented Dylan's stack.
I mean, look at the stack of papers.
Right, so that a stack of cards and that stack of cards are
short and stacked like me!
She's not.
Stack.
STACK.
It's going to happen in 6 stages. Stage 1.
The stage? No, the stage.
This is just the staging area.
Right, it's a staging
this more than anything else is staging.
So I felt at ease on stage.
We were on stage together.
Get that beer off the stage!
Really? Who here is going to rush that stage?
This is just the staging area.
Right, it's
Of your midlife crisis.
That is the final stage of capitalism.
Oh, your staging is all over the place.
Stage.
STATE.
Tasha fell down the stairs, and now I fell down the stairs.
He didn't like it. Stairs?
Whoops! Joey fell down the stairs.
Push it down the stairs. The king walked slowly down the stairs.
I found the stairs and started climbing.
Oh, for God's sakes, take the stairs.
The big lawn and all these stairs?
He couldn't get up the stairs. He's got...
Oh, okay, it's a slide instead of stairs. Let's...
And passed us on the stairs.
So climbing all those stairs wasn't wasted.
Okay, guess I'm taking the stairs.
Stair. STAR.
No, more to standards. Open standards.
Don't apply double standards.
I mean, that's the standard gang rate.
Her work is of a high standard.
You need to use a standard envelope.
Do these non-literary activities lower cultural standards?
This is a standard off-the-shelf solar cell.
Still lower my standards a little bit.
Why, is it the standard toilet swabbing time?
Standard.
STANDARD.
See, big star.
Most of them were business people, film stars, rock stars, and sports heroes.
A star is born. A star is born.
Wait, so Star Wars and Star Trek character? God, which Star Trek character are you?
You know Worf from Star Trek?
Oh, of course I've seen Star Wars.
Hey, was the star of the team.
You dream about being a movie star.
Hi, Celine, don't the stars look lovely?
Organisms landed violently from a burning star.
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 Your dad would kill me for starters.
Make you a starter kit.
I'll need a death certificate for starters.
As an athlete, Singh was a late starter.
Like Drew Barrymore, I'm an adorable fire starter.
Hey, the fingerprints were on the gun for starters.
For starters, it costs $15,000.
Starters? When I search for Dave Williams, I get $1 million.
Okay, Okay, for starters, don't ever cry in front of her.
Gone all summer, so, being 20%.
Well, the fact that you call him Ray Ray, for starters.
And for starters, thank you for not wearing a tank top.
Starter.
STARTER.
Oh, yay! We're starting! We're starting!
On hearing the shot of the starting gun, I shot from the starting point.
But that can't stop us from getting started.
Anna, we're starting.
Sorry, Mr. Carson.
Well, it's difficult starting work after university.
I think he's starting to like me.
Starting to like it that way.
We'll be starting to read Plato's Symposium.
Are you spreading my face?
Are you
You might be starting a family soon.
Oh. Starting.
STARTING.
In Uttar Pradesh, in India's largest state.
He's fighting for states' rights, that's all.
Robin said he was...
Name's Paul Cunningham, Iowa State Gymnastics team.
From the Sunshine State to the Golden State.
That's 3 times higher than the United States.
But I'm not in a state, unless it's a state of boredom.
The contract covers everything with no exclusions stated.
In a state, they're throwing in the towel.
Yes, the fort is in a sorry state.
California and 7 other states hold primaries Tuesday.
And are the prices stated in the U.S. dollar?
We only have the morning for affairs of state.
Of course, everyone should see the Empire State Building.
Matching is certainly uncommon in the United States today.
It keeps me in a calm and detached state.
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 Then match the restaurants with the statements. What does Molly think of Kathy's statements?
I doubt the accuracy of his statement.
You'll get a bank statement every month.
Hey, have you seen our bank statement?
It does not have the if statement.
So you refuse to make a statement?
And that is the brain teaser statement.
And I'll get your statement then.
Great.
That's one of his most infamous statements.
Only 10% could balance a bank statement. 15 years.
She made some statements in the press.
Well, what statement do you want them to make?
You like to make a statement?
You have the doctor's statement in his words.
Statement.
STATEMENT.
The station is sad. The station is tired.
The radio stations are playing Christmas music.
Stations. Someone's gonna die. What?
Shall we meet at the bus station?
The hotel? It's behind the police station.
I'm headed down to the police station.
We need to find a service station.
Did you report to the police station?
Do you mind? That's the radio station.
Oh, no line at the omelet station.
Something smells good over at Monica's station.
The nurse's station.
Oh, I'll get it.
I got it.
Right back.
Station.
STATION.
What else? Status is status quo in my...
When your status changes initially, I think.
Gonna work at this point, right? We had friends
aware of your church mouse status.
I don't.
It transfer me. It give me a status.
What is your job and relationship status?
Gotta check the status in there.
Status on the docket.
Yeah. All right, start with his immigration status.
Regarding the status of my liquor license. The status quo is not an option.
Their status within national scholarly circles is unparalleled.
I don't really care a fig about status.
In Britain, one's accent proclaims his social status.
It's the problem about the status of writing.
Go ahead, JFK. What is the baggage status?
Status.
STATUS.
And the occasional steak. I love steak.
Steak pizzaiola, the real steak pizzaiola with the cheese on the top.
Steak, bed stuff. I'm a new steak eating chair.
Bone and porterhouse steak.
Anything you... I said steak, not stick.
a juicy steak.
How do you want your steak cooked?
We've got beef steak with onions today.
Buy a dinner for 6. 5 steaks.
Dinner at a steak place. I'm paying.
Give me some sizzle with that steak.
Steak. Come on.
Do you like your steak well done or underdone?
Thank you. Everything looks delicious.
Oh, let me take you out for steak tonight.
Steak.
S-T-E-A-K.
It's a kind of steamed egg custard.
Hey, will you steam my uniform next?
Okay, let's see. Here's the steam one.
I'm sorry, but that really steams me.
Then, of course, they invented steamships.
He just needs to blow off steam.
Oh, he ran out of steam power.
Hurry up, you're letting the steam out.
Seriously, you're like a little steam engine.
We know that heating water can generate steam.
The proofer is a steam box with heat.
Steam.
S-T-E-A-M.
To work this out step by step. You couldn't take a step without stepping on me.
Back up. We'll do this step by step. He had 2.
It is important, therefore, to do things step by step.
Can you show me how to do it step by step?
Take steps, Mr. Mosley. Take steps.
Well, we're going to go step by step and do this together.
But she decided to accept the challenge and move forward step by step.
Just step back inside. All right? Just step back inside now. Come on.
There are many steps, and identifying which step to try to block is complex.
Stepped on my egg roll!
Step.
S-T-E-P.
Sting. Yeah, I meant sting, so what?
A wasp stung me on the finger.
You are smarter than a bee stick.
Be careful, or the bee will sting you.
Grasp the nettle, and it won't sting you.
Maybe a bee farmer will get stung.
As for Papa, this will sting a bit.
Monica got stung by a jellyfish.
All right, that lessens the sting of a failed opening.
Sting is a song that goes there too.
Sting.
S-T-I-N-G.
Would that help with preserving fish stocks?
Goes back in. A couple of tablespoons of stock and freeze.
Stock prices fluctuate all throughout the day.
An improvement on the existing mediocre stock.
We have lots of paper in stock.
And what do you mean, mediocre stock?
Okay, we don't have that in stock.
I own the equipment, all the stock.
Oh, my stock just took a dive.
And the absurd custom of one stocking.
I was dreaming of our stock portfolio.
I want to stock up on muffs.
You now have an official Bradshaw stocking.
Swedish stocks rose after the election Monday.
Stock. S-T-O-C-K.
My stomach was like, hey, bro.
And then punch him in the stomach.
Stomach acid? You'd like to think that.
It protects your stomach lining from acid.
Bruce rubbed the cat's stomach some more. The cat was lying on its stomach.
Seriously, this is making my stomach hurt.
That's why you've got a stomachache.
I felt so jealous. My stomach hurt.
You could stop holding your stomach.
Yes, Lakshmi just got her stomach stapled.
For years. Stomach cancer.
Pumped. Oh God, my stomach, I feel sick.
Stomach.
S-T-O-M-A-C-H.
And have the biggest stomach aches ever! Yeah! Yeah!
You need some rest since you have a stomachache.
Oh my! Stomachache is definitely a sign of serious flu.
If you swim on a full stomach, you will have a stomachache.
He missed Hogwarts so much it was like having a constant stomachache.
Ruth didn't want to go out with Tim, so she faked a stomachache.
He likes apples very much, and yesterday he ate too many green ones, so this morning he had a stomachache.
Partly because I ate too many mooncakes, and partly because the mooncakes had spoiled. I had a bad stomachache.
We could not ask him, is it fever? Is it headache? Is it stomachache? Did the doctor say to you? We could not ask that.
Stomach ache.
STOMACHACH.
On both sides of the way, there are some stone animals and stone officials.
He'd be like, honey, I'm stoned.
I'm dropping white stones along the way.
Well, I finished Philosopher's Stone in here.
Where are you going to put the stone?
The wall was made of rough stones.
Got some stick or some stones. No.
The lump felt like a small stone.
Bree, where is your ring?
Oh,
Right, here come the hot stones.
2 stone gargoyles flank the staff room door.
Tomorrow, at 11, by the stone barn.
I quit. I'm not made.
3, all in an old stone house.
Yeah. Stone.
STONE.
She stopped at a store.
What's the best clothing store in town?
The stores were closed shortly after 7.
Comic book store. We went to the comic book store last?
No, he doesn't work at the store.
The convenience store is clean and big.
Wow! Those store clerks really got lucky.
They are still stored on the dock.
Yeah.
Before you leave the store.
He and Thomas, the pet store owner.
Would anyone deliver them to the stores?
Maybe he's in a pet store.
Son is just a dime store laser jockey.
I'm looking for a store.
Back from the hardware store, are we?
The 5th store I went to.
Store.
STORE.
Story?
Any story, as long as it's interesting.
This story is called Seuss's Really Great Pinball Story.
I know a story about a crow. I hate your story.
Not enough.
Stephen says everybody has a story and every woman's story is...
La storia del buon samaritano è la storia dell'umanità di oggi.
The story took place many years ago.
Joe wrote stories from an early age.
It's a similar story with the animals.
Jim loves to read highly amusing stories.
The film originated from a short story.
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 They decided to take a block by block strategy.
You want back on our deal.
It's too late to change trial strategy.
Plus, they had a perfect exit strategy.
It's a strategy known as ring vaccination.
What is your strategy in communicating with colleagues?
Don't you love this guy? What's the strategy?
Apparently that strategy had never occurred to him.
Meyer, there's no exit strategy. Just wash your stupid dish.
Strategy.
STRATEGY.
People have strengths, and it's very rare that strengths fully correspond with careers.
Protection will lead to great prosperity and strength.
Or they may see only your strengths.
We have numerical strength over the enemy.
They thought I was overtaxing my strength.
We have to strengthen our management policy.
No, to test his neck strength.
It's real strength?
Whining.
The bond nourishes us.
I'm trying to project strength and confidence.
The Dothraki followed strength above all, Khaleesi.
You need your strength. I'm hungry.
I'm saving room. Turn it up. Strength.
STRENGTH.
Only striking 2 strings rather than striking 3 strings.
The clock struck 11 as she entered.
You never know when gold's gonna strike.
That name struck a chord of remembrance. She was struck dumb at the news.
It's because she struck you, isn't it?
Now here's the even more striking thing.
Striking that phrase is. And here's the line that's so striking.
No more so than acting. Strike 2.
Struck down in the bribe. Now you will try to strike me.
Now I'm tardy. Strike 2.
Oh, cute little tushy strikes again?
They'd never reached me before you struck.
Strike.
S-T-R-I-K-E.
Lionel Richie style. All night long.
Then here's another style that they're selling.
Style. I'm glad you brought that up.
Please type it in a formal style.
You do have such great personal style.
His style of singing is rather unique.
Mozart's style is quite distinct from Haydn's.
What style of clothes do they have?
What style of art do you prefer?
Bongs.
Are you dissing my sense of style?
Oh, wow, you just got burned. Phonic style.
Backpacking is a popular style of traveling.
Specific type. Too much style and money to blow.
Pre-war craftsman.
Good. You know that's not my style.
Style.
S-T-Y-L-E.
An appropriate subject.
Why?
Because it's...
You see it in the subject matter.
3. What was your best subject in college?
What was his favorite subject in school?
Let us revert to the original subject.
There's total union between painter and subject.
I think we should change the subject.
In our country, the subject is taboo.
Why did you subject yourself to this?
You'll see. You found a subject.
In one post, the subject saw some...
The subject is shirts. It's killing morale.
But that's not the subject for now.
Let me change the subject.
Subject.
S-U-B-J-E-C-T.
You already submitted yours for the auction.
To submit a settlement agreement.
We just submitted it last night.
I gave your article to a junior.
Why are they submitting this fanger?
I have to submit it by noon today.
Presented ever. 4 words.
I'll submit a detailed proposal to you later.
Please submit your application before February 28th.
The old man submitted the photograph in evidence.
We'll submit the loan docs in the morning.
Submit.
S-U-B-M-I-T.
Do you have any other personal subsidies?
A big long brief about farm subsidies.
I'll come down on subsidies for charter school.
Farmers receive generous subsidies from the government.
This whole thing is based on a government subsidy.
They can also obtain government subsidies for funerals and weddings.
A small cyclone stirring over the matter of wheat subsidies.
By 1940, nearly 6 million farmers were receiving federal subsidies under this program.
Anyway, the townsfolk can't understand why the Royal Shakespeare Company needs a subsidy.
10. There are subsidies for high temperature, food, transportation, renting, and communication allowance.
It should be used to make subsidies and their costs more transparent.
Now our salaries have been multiplied several times, but the subsidy is still 10 yuan.
Subsidy.
S-U-B-S-I-D-Y.
Wembley is not London's most appealing suburb.
She's a dippy brunette from the suburbs.
It's practiced every day in the suburbs.
And people say the suburbs are boring?
Yep.
And people say the suburbs are boring?
Great. People don't talk about money in the suburbs.
You're stuck in the suburbs till Monday.
He knows you're from the suburbs.
Interested in the suburbs. Not a Saturday night in the suburbs.
Why are you intended to move to the suburbs?
Trendy suburbs offer a different kind of story. The
That means wolves in the suburbs of New York.
Suburb.
S-U-B-U-R-B.
Sugar? What does that mean? The price of sugar soars when sugar is scarce.
But the sugar doesn't know why. Sugar didn't ask to be born.
You could have said pass the sugar.
Sugar and spice and everything nice.
Want sugar.
Too bad.
One converts light into sugar. The other consumes that sugar.
Do you take sugar in your tea? The bacteria in plaque live on sugar.
It's basically a little ball of sugar.
What'd you do, dip it in sugar?
Sugar and alcohol go hand in hand.
I've seen them in like Sugar Smacks, PlayStation.
Sugar.
SUGAR.
Is he still wearing the Batman suit under the Man-Bat suit?
Your suit's death could mean another suit's life.
It's my suit. My extra suit from my office. Yeah.
Look at him! He wears a suit!
Do you think it suits her well?
And I think it definitely suits her.
Anybody else's suit riding up on him?
Don't worry, we'll both be in suits.
I think it suits you very well.
The suit has shrunk out of shape.
Obviously, you're not well suited for three-dimensional chess.
You look very sophisticated in the suit.
Well, is she making a suit of armor?
Suit.
SUIT.
The sun hasn't come up yet.
The sun rises early and sets late. The sun rises late and sets early.
It's all bright when the sun rises.
The sun often shines in the south.
The sun is sinking in the west. The sun reflected off the snow-covered mountains.
Her hair is shining under the sun.
The heat of the midday sun. So
2. The north wind and the sun.
Is it the moon or the sun?
It looked bigger than the rising sun.
See, the sun does come out tomorrow.
I remember the sun was coming up.
The sun is 93 million miles away.
Yeah, the sun's gonna come up soon.
Sun.
SUN.
The wide-brimmed straw hat shielded his face.
Drive at me. Keep your shield up.
I know you're trying to shield me.
Where's her individuality like a shield?
With pen and paper, shield and sword.
Instead, it shields science from becoming unchallenged dogma.
Shielding your face and shrieking like a girl.
Sorry to bother you guys.
Oh, no problem. Sisterhood of the Traveling Panty Shields.
He was shielding his face down. My shields are up.
The shield that guards the realms of men.
Shield.
SHIELD.
Hi, Dr. Heller. I'm Lindsay.
I need to ask my supervisor.
I'm the intelligence supervisor here at Getmo.
Script supervisor is Meredith Danko.
Uh-huh. Well, can I please speak to your supervisor?
Can I please speak to your supervisor? Thank you for holding.
I could talk to one of my supervisors. Your supervisor could monitor them the entire time.
What could we do? He's the travel supervisor.
Don't worry. NYU, I'm Emily Lawrence, your supervisor. Welcome to W.
Let me talk to my supervisor.
Blake has been made my supervisor.
Is there a supervisor that I can speak with?
Like I got time for supervisors?
What's the name of your supervisor? Sean.
Supervisor.
SUPERVISOR.
Should have been supporting you, like this support beam.
I'll support you if you support me.
Support, having that support from them.
It says best supporting actress.
She's very supportive.
Yeah, all right.
Would you support this kind of abuse?
Henry won support for his royal claim.
And technology from space supports sustainable development.
Perfectly supported from underneath, not above.
Supporting elderly parents is every adult's obligation.
But all the other people supported it.
Thank you for being such a sport.
The research was supported by the government.
Your support means a lot to me.
Support.
SUPPORT.
But it was all on the surface.
Everything perfect, at least on the surface.
It was just lying on the surface.
Brought Borson's guilt to the surface.
Yeah. Sarah Tancredi surfaced in Chicago.
The man never scratched the surface of life.
A breeze rippled the surface of the pond.
Signals can travel below the soil surface too.
The runway surface is damp, braking action good.
And they'll use the surface of your
surface.
SURFACE.
You're a horse surgeon, not a deer surgeon.
A surgeon in New York can be helping a surgeon in Amsterdam, for example.
Excuse me? You're the sofa surgeon.
The surgeon bandages up his injured leg.
The surgeon bandaged up his injured head.
Husband's death. I've been a surgeon.
He's a surgeon. He wasn't in combat.
A surgeon returned from a safari in Africa.
He was a doctor. He was a surgeon.
You always wanted to be a real surgeon.
Why do you think I'm a heart surgeon?
Just described every surgeon I've ever met.
Patient? Well, you take this surgeon thing pretty seriously.
Surgeon.
SURGEON.
I won't.
The children keeping mice.
His surname, Ataturk, means father of the Turks.
Edith, can you spell your surname, please?
Could you spell the surname, please?
Spell your surname.
Many surnames in English originally come from professions.
Why is my surname Snow?
Now, is this the correct spelling of your surname?
The woman's surname is Smith.
The surname Baker, for example, was originally given to people who worked as bakers.
For one early paper, he pulled surnames from Italian phone directories as proxies for father-son transmission.
The 34-year-old man whose surname is Seo was held after he illegally entered North Korea in late July.
A person close to the police investigation said one of the suspects, surnamed Liu, used to work at the branch.
Adolf Dassler, and his nickname was Addy. So the brand is an infusion of his nickname and his nickname Addy.
Surname.
SURNAME.
Surprise, surprise.
Yes, along with everything else.
Took them by surprise, and they don't like surprises.
Well, you might surprise yourself because I surprised myself.
Oh, surprise, surprise! Jay is against something.
What happened? She asked in surprise.
The secret to humor is surprise.
Not now. You do surprise me.
What sort of surprise?
Chelsea!
To his surprise, she said she hadn't.
But, to his surprise,
The two men jump back in surprise.
We were all surprised at seeing him.
Our chef has promised a few surprises.
Surprise.
SURPRISE.
researchers surveyed communities in Charlotte, North Carolina.
It's a survey of all 50 states.
And we're doing a survey of students' eating habits.
I went and survey and look.
You want the surveys? We want the money.
Such remote surveys are generally considered highly cost-effective.
Mapping, surveying, volumetric measurements, security, emergency response, so there's a...
Continuous fighting in the region has made surveys difficult.
Listen again. Fill in the blanks in the survey.
They conducted a survey on the causes of divorce.
He sat down and surveyed the ocean before.
You'd better make a survey about styles of uniforms.
Professor Trelawney stood up, surveying Hermione with unmistakable anger. Dumbledore surveyed him for a moment through his glasses.
Now, this hawk can be used for geospatial survey.
I'm right. Well, have you done any surveys on the subject?
Survey.
SURVEY.
Struggling for survival is a human instinct.
A G-free diet, a gluten-free survival guide.
What was the likelihood of Sybil's survival?
Survival is not what I'm after now.
After the tragedy, survival stories began to emerge.
Survival on Earth is a surprisingly tricky business.
What matters to me isn't survival per se.
But he did it for his own survival.
Survival training, is that like camping?
This race was all about survival.
More research for a survival guide?
One is that certain expressions are important for survival.
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 Do you like sweaters?
She's in Sweater Town.
Are you gonna come out of Sweater Town?
Is this my sweater? Yeah.
Oh, how much is the green sweater?
Oh, look. I like that blue sweater.
He makes sweaters from used plastic bottles.
You can wear sweaters and light clothes.
Shut up and get me a sweater.
Hey, I'm not interested in her sweater. It's what's underneath her sweater that counts.
And Han, your sweater's eating your head.
John Mayer wore this sweater in details.
Sweater.
sweater. Do we switch bodies when we switch clothes?
Switch the menu now. Sit.
I can't simply switch off my curiosity.
You want to switch?
No.
Well, they switched me over to ombre. I want to switch.
Oh, you know. You may have switched over to yogurt.
Until you said it. Somebody switch!
Doctor in position. Switches are on.
What about this adorable guy? Hello, Switch.
Cam, would you like to switch position?
Switch.
switch.
Doctor in position. Switches are on.
This button switches the current on.
Then it uses molecular scissors to snip through both strands, which switches off the faulty gene.
My phone keeps playing up. Every time I dial a number, it just switches itself off.
Roughly every decade, this switches from explicit power grabs to unsubtle efforts to manipulate civilian leaders.
Many of these switches probably also play a role in major malformations of the face.
A human typable keyboard instead of a stupid cryptic front panel with a bunch of lights and switches.
A radio set often used just one, but a computer might require hundreds or thousands of electrical switches.
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 And its symptoms are characterized by motor symptoms. So
initial symptoms include nausea and vomiting.
The symptoms have abated?
Gone completely.
Fever is a symptom of many illnesses.
Symptoms can also imitate other conditions.
Symptoms include dizziness, fever, chills, and nausea.
My companions were experiencing the same symptoms.
No, when did the symptoms first appear?
Jackass.
Oh, okay. So obviously you have my...
Symptoms are consistent with an ulcer.
What are the symptoms of kidney failure?
The patient described his symptoms to the doctor.
Even if those travelers show no symptoms of the disease.
I'm coming down with flu-like symptoms.
Have you developed any of the following symptoms?
Effects of which mimic her symptoms.
Symptom.
symptom.
You want to bring down the syndicate?
How come the CIA has never discovered any intel regarding this syndicate?
The syndicate is real. A rogue nation trained to do what we do.
The syndicate appears to be organized like a typical corporation, with descendants.
The smugglers are part of international crime syndicates, earning huge sums, notes Andrea De Nicola.
Mexican officials say they've arrested the leader of the Juarez cartel, once one of the country's most powerful crime syndicates.
I commend your special agents who connected this defendant to the Rathkeil Rovers, a transnational organized crime syndicate responsible for trafficking endangered rhinoceros products worldwide.
It's about a newspaper editor who's being driven out of business by a big newspaper syndicate. You know.
It's about a newspaper editor who's being driven out of business by a big newspaper syndicate. You know,
they have taken over from the Sicilian mafia as Italy's foremost crime syndicate, partly owing...
Syndicate.
syndicate. Sir, syrup!
Go, Mountie Man!
Go!
Syrups, powders, whipped cream is right here.
Oh, long story.
You want boysenberry or maple syrup, dear?
What's in the bag, Weisenheimer?
Cough syrup. Yeah, your little maple syrup award.
The gesture and the flavored syrup.
He took the chocolate syrup out of the refrigerator.
Syrup.
SYRUP.
We'll have to do it ourselves.
Is there some kind of system that...
All systems down!
What you want?
All systems down!
Had our class system been replaced by a caste system?
I understand we've got an adversarial system.
A pollution warning system is being established.
This economic system is working in inefficiency.
Come up with. So when they go up to this
system.
SYSTEM.
On the table.
Where is our table? There are no more tables.
You know, coffee table books. We all know coffee table books, and they're really popular.
And food on this table. No.
We're done.
It's your mama table.
There is a table in the room.
Is my computer game on the table?
The ID card is on the table.
Shut up and put my table back.
Your book is there on the table.
Things like graphs or tables or charts.
Why don't we look at the table?
TABLE.
There's no such tablet or inscription there.
I have my learning tablet.
Your mother took sleeping tablets.
Mesopotamian kings recorded and interpreted their dreams on wax tablets.
1 in 5 Americans will use a tablet or smartphone.
Form of stone tablets or a burning bush. But
take 2 of these tablets 3 times a day after meals. Take.
Well, I'll call Condé Nast and Tablet Hotels right away.
my mom, she left her tablet out on the table this morning.
They also found round seals and inscribed clay tablets in those tombs.
Oh, and please go to the village later and get my tablets.
One thing they asked about was using tablets for things like reading newspapers.
You should also then do the search from your mobile or your tablet.
The other half received a sugar tablet.
It was whispered that he had gone away carrying 2 tablets of rough-hewn stone.
Tablet.
TABLET.
Did you know he taped over my Baywatch tape with some show about bugs?
I want the tape. Give me the tape. No.
I've seen the tweet about tapes. Lordy, I hope they're tapes.
Some music tapes and some blank tapes.
We've got some more on the tape here.
Cutting red tape should also boost investment.
Those tapes working out for you. Spring for a new blank tape, doctor.
Got me on tape trashing GNB.
Is he taping our laptop shut?
Crime scene is police tape.
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 You're supposed to double the tax, not double the tax of Romania.
Foreign investment, tariffs, income tax, or corporate tax.
Taxes. Why do I like taxes? Because before taxes, the only certainty was death.
The government decided to levy a tax on tobacco. It had been free from tax.
Tax evasion, ages 6 to 10.
It's cute. Tax stuff. I need your signature.
Careful, that's our tax dollars you're dripping.
I think I'm worth $3.49 plus tax.
Well, that's not true. I paid taxes.
Breakfast is not a taxing assignment.
Forget to pay your taxes! Yeah.
Tax.
TAX.
Test paper 8.
Roommates. Root. Rule. Safari. Safety. Sail. Sailing. salad, salads, salary, sale, salt, sample, sandal, satellite, source, saving, scale, scandal, scandals, scar, scent, schedule, scheme, scholar, scholarship, science, scientist, score, script, sculpture, sea, season, seat, second, secretary, section, sector, selection, selections, seminar, sense, sentence, servant, service, sewage, sewer, sex, shade, sheep, sheet, shelf, shell, shelter, ship, shoe, shoplifters, shopper, shortage, shower, side, sight, sign, signature, silence, simulation, single, sight, size, skating, skeleton, skill, skin, skirt, slang, slave, sleep, sleeping, slip, smell, smoke, smoking, snack, soil, solution, sound, source, south, southeast, southwest, space, speaker, speaking, speed, spending, spider, sponsor, spoons, sportsman, spot, stability, stack, stage, stare, standard, star, starter, starting, state, statement, station, status, stake, steam, step, sting, stock, stomach, stomach ache, stone, store, story, strategy, strength, strike, style, subject, submit, subsidy, suburb, sugar, suit, sunshield, supervisor, support, surface, surgeon, surname, surprise, survey, survival, sweater, switch, switches, symptom, syndicate, syrup, system, table, tablet, tape, tax,